Hello everybody! Welcome back once again to the Final Fantasy VII walkthrough. We are just about to head into Fort Condor. I've kind of done all I wanted to do, I guess, around this area. And so it's time to head on in here. Now, this is somewhat, or actually I should say it's completely optional at this point. Now, that being said, though, the way Condor Fort works is at specific areas in the game, and as we play through the game, you know, obviously we're going through the whole walkthrough here, but as we get to the different milestones, I'll be making my way back to Fort Condor to participate in the battles here. So the good thing about kind of staying on top of Fort Condor is there's some fairly decent rewards. The first reward being the magic comb, and that's for red. And that's a 3-slot weapon that has double materia raising capability. So it can be kind of nice. I don't know. I'm not all that wild on the double materia and triple materia raising weapons. And that's just because I feel like I guess I just like to you know, get or have more materia raising at the same time. You know, just the fact that you can you know, raise a specific materia at double the rate isn't always the best way to go, in my opinion. But sometimes it is. Sometimes it can be good. So, but anyways, long story short, you know, there's a lot of really good items that you can get out of here, and you know, again, we're going to be making periodic stops here at Fort Condor. Now, that being said, there's, I believe, 2 different ways to win these battles here. One is to actually stop the troops with I guess, with your troops. And then the second way is actually to just beat the commander. I believe if you let the commander get all the way, or if you let the enemies attack I think it's like they attack the shed or something like that. Basically, if they make it all the way to the top, at that point you'll have to fight the commander. But if you let that happen, you won't get the like bonus reward, I would say. In this case, obviously, being that it's our first time here, it'll be the magic comb. So if you let the troops get all the way up to the shed, the enemy troops that is, you will not get the magic comb. So again, you have to keep that in mind too when you make your decisions on whether or not you know, you put any effort into these battles. Now, if you do let the commander get all the way to the shed, I'll be honest, the battles are usually pretty easy. The commander itself is pretty easy to take down. So so that being said, you know, you have to choose which way you want to go about it. I would say for the first, second, and fourth battles, I will make sure that I defeat the enemies before the commander reaches the shed. However, the third battle, I believe the reward is 3 ethers, and I would actually, at that point, rather get into a battle with the commander, because the commander has a specific item that I'm going to want to steal. So, but once we actually get to that point in the game, I will point that out. But for now, keep in mind, I'm going to be doing my best to not let the commander get to the shed, and we will you know, kind of, I would almost say, play out these battles the way they were meant to be played. But anyways, so the whole story behind this place is, obviously, we've got a gigantic condor at the top of this place, and Shinra apparently wants to take this place back over, and I assume that's because there's Mako here or something like that. I don't remember if this was actually a reactor or not. I kind of feel like it was. If you look at the battlefield, there's all kinds of like pipes and stuff kind of cruising around. So I assume that's what that means. But I forgot here, and I wasn't actually really paying enough attention. But all right, so here this is kind of like the final thing with Fort Condor. You can actually donate gil to the cause. And I don't remember, though, if I think what'll end up happening is the guys here at Fort Condor will actually fight the battles for you if you're not around, or if you don't stop in, you know. And again, that's at certain points of the storyline. So, you know, you may come back later and find that they've fought a couple of battles while you were gone. And I believe as long as they've got cash, you know, they can, I think they'll fight, and I don't know if they, you know, I shouldn't even comment mostly on that because I don't remember what happens, you know, if they were to win or lose or whatever. I just don't remember. But again, I'm gonna be stopping in here at the, you know, specific points to make sure that we take care of this battle. Now, I always kind of start out, or I always kind of set up kind of similarly when I do these battles. And what I mean by that is I generally make choke points here, and I accidentally put this worker down. I don't really like workers all that much, but anyway, so what I do is I kind of set up choke points and put these stoners down, and then I'll usually put like a troop or something in front of the stoners, and that's just so that you know, the enemy gets held up while the stoners can keep rolling stones onto the enemies, and you'll kind of see what I mean when we actually start these battles. But all right, so let's put some attackers out. Now the units that you pick are, you know, completely up to you. Some of these are better against others. You know, attackers are good against, I think it was beasts, but weak against the flying enemies, I think. And then the worker here puts bombs down. Again, this might be the very first time I've ever used a worker in all of my battles. I just don't like them. They put bombs down, but I don't know. I just don't like the style, I guess. And then so one other thing here. Obviously there's a little speed meter on the bottom right-hand corner there, and if you noticed, I've cranked up the speed all the way to high, and that's just because I want the enemies to get here faster. Now the other thing with the worker here, so you see there he put this bomb down, and that's cool and everything. The only problem with that is he's not able to place another bomb until that first bomb explodes. So again, I don't know. I don't like workers. I'm just gonna put that out there. Not my thing. But all right, so for this one, we've got a bunch of these beasts, and then there's a bunch of the flying enemies too. I think the archers are good against the flying enemies, if I remember correctly. But all right, so anyways, like I said, I don't know. I put the bomb down with the worker, and you know, I don't know. This is the first time I've ever used workers, and I'll be honest, I was not impressed at all. It's just, I don't know, it's not my style. Don't like that. And I think they're fairly worthless too once you put their bomb down, because I don't think they can really fight well, like if you go toe to toe with the enemies. But okay, I don't know what I'm doing here, but apparently I'm just waiting for my characters to get into fights here. There we go. All right, so attacker 2 encountered an enemy. So when that happens, the camera will usually zoom to wherever your characters are fighting. And if you notice here, I mean, it's happening pretty quick because I still have the battle speed cranked up. 13 damage. Okay, so that bomb only did 13 damage to that flying guy. That's actually really horrible. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Okay, so the worker does a little bit of damage. He's doing like 13 points of damage. Which, again, I don't know. To be honest, that's pretty crappy, but... the attacker here, alright, so he took 60 damage from, I think that was a flying enemy too that he was fighting, but if you notice there, he's standing in front of 2 stoners, so every time the stone, or the stoner, you know, attacks essentially, it rolls a stone at the enemy, and, you know, I always feel like they're just a really good way to get a little bit of extra damage going for your characters. Okay. Alright. Enemy destroyed. Alright, and so here one of these the flying guys was about to kind of make its way to the little shed there. And luckily I caught it soon enough here, so I put an attacker down. And that's actually one of the things, it's probably not a bad idea to kind of make sure that you don't have too many units out. I think you can only ever have 20 units out at a time. And so if you load up on enemies in a certain area, and then one enemy like sneaks by, you can have a huge issue there, obviously. And then because at that point you wouldn't be able to put a new character or a new unit down to kind of intercept the enemy. So just keep that in mind too. You don't want to kind of go overboard, I guess, on that. So I guess I'm putting more bombs down, more worthless bombs. And yeah, wow, these attackers really shred these beasts. I mean, he's doing 40 damage every swing on them. That's pretty impressive. And then actually one more thing, I kind of forgot about this. So there's kind of like I almost call it like a line of scrimmage for these battles. And that what I mean by that is you can actually only place enemies so far down. Now, once they're actually placed, you can have them physically walk, past that line. But again, you can only place them so far down. So keep that in mind as well. All right, so we've only got one enemy left. This is the commander. So what I'll end up doing here is kind of trying to figure out where he's actually going. And then, man, it looks so bad. Look at that. Holy crap. These graphics are so dated. But the commander here will run up into a certain path, and what I'll actually end up doing is trying to get my attackers to kind of intercept him. And then I think I actually summoned a defender as well to try to take some of the hits, because this guy destroys. He just does a ton of damage. So you really want to obviously want to focus focus fire on him. All right, so let's get these attackers moving here. I'm not sure what. Oh, okay, all right. I thought they were gonna get hung up on this wall, but it does look like they have fairly good pathing. Alright, so he's arrived at the directed position. Cool. Alright. Okay, so I think right here is where I put my defender. Yeah, it has the highest HP. So that's why I use the defender. I don't think he's got really any specific bonuses to beating the commander here. Now, one of the other things I could have done was to summon up some maybe archers or something in the back behind the defender and just use some ranged attacks, but I didn't really feel like it was worth it. I think that at a certain point, it just doesn't matter. You're going to do just fine against these guys. Yeah, look at that. He's already dead. So, just having all of those troops kind of clumped together right there was, obviously a fairly decent strategy and paid off quite well. I don't know if I lost any troops there or not, but the cool thing, too, is that once if you have surviving allies, you'll get some of your money back. But not a whole lot. But anyways, all right, so we got the magic comb there, and that is really all we're going to be able to do here at Fort Condor for the time being. We'll make obviously subsequent trips here once the next battle becomes available. But as always, I hope this guide was helpful, and hope you join me for more videos. Thanks for watching.